to the football terrace. What an evening of football we just witnessed. Real football purist stuff tonight. I have to take my absolute hat off to Maurizio Pochettino and Paris Saint-Germain for holding their nerve this evening. Bayern Munich threw everything they had at them. And you actually saw really and truly in the last 20 to 30 minutes of the game, Bayern Munich ran out of ideas. The players on the pitch become tired. They had nothing left to give. But it was a battle of attrition, really, for Paris Saint-Germain. They played on the counter. They should have scored 3 or 4 goals in the game. Let's have it right. Neymar, for all the trickery tonight, very, very wasteful. And there were 2 or 3 times where him and Mbappe just didn't quite pull off the 1-2s or get the passes right to send each other through. And when they did, Manuel Neuer was equal to them. But it was a brilliant, brilliant game. Chelsea, on the other hand, listen, let me say this now. Well done to Chelsea and Tuchel. They didn't get the clean sheet because we just saw at the end of the game Taremi score one of the best Champions League goals you're ever going to see in your life. But it won't be remembered because he was on the losing team, and that's how football works. But Chelsea, they did what they needed to do tonight, really. They just kept Porto quiet. They weren't really playing above and beyond themselves. They were in second gear for the majority of the game. They tried to play on the counter. A couple of opportunities went a begging for them. But I thought it was a comfortable night again. Watching both games as I thought it was a comfortable night for Chelsea. They held their nerve. And like I always said, there's always a bit of fun to be had. But Paris Saint-Germain are always under pressure when they are in these quarterfinal, semi-final games and they're leading. And tonight, even after conceding the goal, they kept their nerve. They made sure they got through to the final. They lose on the night, but who cares? The same as Chelsea. They lost on the night, but who cares? They're both through to the semi-finals, respectively, both on their mission to get to this Champions League final. Congratulations to them both. We're going to go and take some calls from the group in a moment, but I want your views and opinions. But make sure you're smashing that like button right now, ladies and gentlemen. Legan Sweet says one word, Leroy Sané. Let me just say this now about Leroy Sané. The geezer was he had a few good dribbles in the game, but there was no end product from him tonight. Absolutely zero end product at all. And for all the systems, for all the style, for all the passing, for all the movement, for all the patterns, when there is no star quality, when there is no individual brilliance, when there is no end product, it means nothing. And Bayern Munich have one of the best systems and best clubs and best group of players in the world. But you scrape beneath the surface and you remove the star quality, the Lewandowski and co's from a starting lineup, and you see the systems fail. All systems fail when top quality players are not available. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. Leroy Sané, of course, I know City fans are going to stick it to him. I totally get why as well. Tottenham Hotspur says Poch versus Pep. Yeah, it could be Poch versus Pep in the semi-final, but don't sleep on Borussia Dortmund. They have an absolute opportunity tomorrow night. There's no doubt about it. Get your super chats in right now, people. Jerome says, let's go, Poch. I'm praying he wins the Champions League. Do you know what, Jerome? I really rate Maurizio Pochettino, and I want him to win something to remove the tag of bottler, serial loser, as an example. I know I tweeted when he's lost games recently, but I'm not poking fun at Poch. I'm poking fun at people that said he can make Man United champions of England this season, which I think is a ludicrous statement in itself. Maurizio Pochettino is one of the next great managers on his way through. He just needs to start winning some major honours so that people just leave him alone to do his job. So I agree with you. I hope that he does well also. Plus, I can't have Man City win this. I'd rather Chelsea win a second than Man City win it. There's no doubt. Lengon Sweet says, I told everyone, please don't sleep on Paris Saint-Germain and Leroy Sané fraud. Listen, it wasn't about sleeping on Paris Saint-Germain. I don't think... I looked at it. I thought Bayern Munich had a good opportunity to go through. And let's be honest, they did have a good opportunity to go through tonight. Paris Saint-Germain, though. Paris Saint-Germain, from an attacking point of view, did all the things I thought they might. They were a little bit nervous. They didn't finish their dinner. They missed opportunities. The only difference being there wasn't the quality in the side. Daniel was absolutely right in his preview. The quality just wasn't quite there with Bayern Munich for them to finish their chances. Some of the balls and touches that Choupo-Moting had in the box, that's Lewandowski, they're scoring more goals. If they had Gnabry to bring on from the bench or the start, they would have maybe scored more goals. So in the end, it was the team with the most amount of fit quality that came through, just as Daniel predicted in the show yesterday. But thinking that Munich were going to go through. Wasn't a bad shout. You know, the game finished 3-3 over 2 legs. It wasn't as if PSG just won 7-1 on aggregate and it was an absolute pasting. It was very, very close indeed, as far as I'm concerned anyway. But I'm going to get the panel on very, very soon, have their say. Another super chat here says, Pulisic got fouled like 20 times. Hashtag hack a hazard vibes. Skillful players are always going to get hacked at. Skillful players are always going to be kicked. Skillful players are always going to be a target. Sometimes deliberately, sometimes it's just a part of the course. When you're so quick and nimble, it's what happens. Comment here says, Neymar cooking people. Do you know what's interesting? I thought Neymar had a very good game in some of his approach play tonight, but his finishing needed to improve. You know what? If Bayern Munich had scored a goal at the death, it would have been a case of, well, Neymar missed those chances. That's really come and cost them. You need to take your opportunities. And, you know, it's mad. I'll tell you one really bad decision tonight when early in the first half, when Mbappe ran through on goal and was given as offside, linesman put his flag up straight away. Didn't wait for after the event. Turned out it was onside. But there we go. Leng and Sweet, you called Paris Saint-Germain overrated. Stop moving the goalpost. Did Leng and Sweet do that? I don't know if he did. I don't know. I don't remember seeing that comment, but maybe there we go. All the Ronnies says, champagne football on display tonight in Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich. Chelsea fans like me praying for a Liverpool revival because Real Madrid are different gravy. They are, but you know what? Tonight, again, I'm going to get the Chelsea fans' views on that. It took one of the greatest goals I've seen in knockout football to score against Chelsea tonight. Did you understand how good that goal was? I'd have loved there to have been 10 more minutes. That would have been really interesting from a spectator's point of view. But we move forward. Nathan here is a City fan, says, we're winning the quadruple. And I really do hope not. Let's do some more of these live comments here. Members here. Hernandez for Bayern Munich was excellent. Yeah, Hernandez was. There was a couple of tackles he made on Kylian Mbappe that looked dead cert. So they looked like they had goal written all over them. And boom, out of nowhere, there he was. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Mr. Anthony here says, we played exactly how I wanted us to play. It took an amazing goal to score against us. People will say it's a dead game. I call it effective. I think Georgie played well with N'Golo Kante, and the front three was efficient. The front three that started were the ones I wanted to see in preparation for this weekend, which is huge against Man City. Didn't quite have the zip that you'd have liked it to have done, but I really felt like Chelsea were trying to be very conservative, to not leave anything in behind, to not take any risks. And up until the last second of the game, practically, it worked perfectly. But I want to know Chelsea fans' opinion on how they feel. I want to know how Chelsea fans feel about that game tonight. Lengen Sweet says, stop lying. I said Bayern Munich got overrated and PSG would knock them out. We're going to bring the panel on now for you, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Daniel backstage, David. We've got Man Like Prime in the house. No camera from Prime. Where's he at? What's he doing? Whose house he at? I want to know where you at. I've got Man Like Jem backstage as well, about to come on and have their say. Someone says, fix the title. Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain make the semi. Oh, hang on. Yeah, the semi's got an N in it. Sorry, my bad. Scorelines. Oh, yeah, and the scorelines are off as well. Do you know what? That last-minute goal happened so late, I didn't change any of the footings or the headers or the graphics or anything because I just didn't. I didn't have time to. I'll get that done right now for all you whingers out there. Fix the titles. You know how crazy it is? Whenever I'm watching games and I do this, I hate last-minute goals because it means I have to change. I literally have to change everything. I have to check. It's all been updated now. So refresh your streams. Hit that refresh button right now. It's all been done. I'm going to bring the panel on now as well, ladies and gentlemen. Bayern overrated. They're an amazing team and just got unlucky is what Jerome says. Panel time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Evening, gentlemen. Evening. Congratulations to you, Chelsea boys. You're through to the next round. Not the most inspiring game. One of the best goals you'll see in the Champions League scored all season, but it was for Porto. But job done for Chelsea tonight.
Yeah, 100%.
Happy? I mean, you all look a little bit depressed. What's wrong?
No, I'm good. No,
it's expected, isn't it? It's expected.
Yeah, you know. There's nothing really that surprised me, really, if you're my honest opinion. I think we got the job done. I think there was some great performance. I think what we saw today was a Chelsea team that didn't have to score goals, but could actually drag out games and defend as a unit and protect a lead very well. And that ain't just for 45 minutes. I'm talking for 90 minutes. All right, they scored that bicycle kick. Let's get it right. It was a shinner. It was the most powerful shinner I've ever seen in Champions League history that took it to the top corner. But it was a good goal. Don't get me wrong. But Kante, Jorginho, top. They played really well today. I thought Christian Pulisic, he was awesome. You know, the front three didn't do that much. Don't get me wrong. But what they did do was good. They held the ball very well. They linked up very well. And the defence, you know, I cried out for Thiago Silva and Kante to play, and I just thought they were top tonight, mate. So yeah, all good, man. I'm happy.
How about yourself, Daniel? Happy to be through, just game out the way, not too worried about the performance.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, David, man, loving the new hair. loving it. But what's it called? Yeah, like it was a good game. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't spectacular. We just got the job done. I mean, we can go on and on about the individual performances. We shut them out. I think they only had 2 shots on target, or even 1 shot on target, 2 shots on goal. Yeah, it was a professional, mature performance. A performance I haven't seen. It would have just looked better, obviously, if it was 0-0 and bicycle. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, man, Tuchel will probably be impressed and know that his team can when the going gets tough, they can put a back. It wasn't even a backs against the wall, but it was a very, very good defensive performance. And obviously the analysis is more in the other game that happened today. But all the same, there's another team in this competition. And like I said, now that Bayern are out, look, I know a lot of people are going to say Man City or the winners are coming from the other side of the draw, but look, you can't count Chelsea out, man. We're a tough team, and the team that no one wants to face, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. When I was obviously I had both games on, but what I noticed is even when you made a few mistakes tonight, so there was the bad pass from Mendy, and I thought, but I think it was Aspi that got the blocking, or if someone got the alert. There was a ball that came over the top. And they had an opportunity to go in. They kind of, that against a better team may have been different. I felt he kind of got a bit of a nosebleed and shot straight away. But even when they did kind of manage to get the ball in behind or get the ball out wide, every time it came in, you had players in the right positions. You were very compact. You cleared the ball well. And yeah, of course, teams like Paris Saint-Germain are going to cause you more problems than Porto. Real Madrid are probably going to cause you more problems. But at the same time, you didn't look troubled tonight. And in fact, barring that Weldy, that's 13 clean sheets in 18 games. And tonight, I'm still going to count tonight as a clean sheet because at the end of the day, it took one of the best goals you're ever going to see in knockout football to score against you. You know what I mean? Like, it's practically a clean sheet again.
Just as a quick point, just very, very quickly. I know everyone played well, and there was other man of the matches like Jorginho, Pulisic, all them guys, Kante, they all played brilliantly. Look, Reece James, when it comes to England, is slowly changing my mind in terms of, I was saying, based on his lack of experience and whatnot, he shouldn't be. Maybe you will go with a Walker and a Trent as the right back options. But I don't know anymore, man. Because that guy is a right back. He is so, like, you don't beat him. Like, he's so strong, he's quick, and he's good going forward as well. He's comfortable. His chest control is one of the best in football, by the way. Like, you thought he was poor? No, I disagree.
No, maybe attacking. Attacking-wise, not great, but defensive-wise, solid.
Not
like that. The guy even tried giving him lip, and he just shoved him off like he's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's always done that. But our question mark is going forward. Will he take a player on? Can he create?
My only thing is that I think tonight wasn't the night for that. That's like there is no need for him to.
Well, I was about to say that. What I saw is when he did venture forward, I didn't really see there wasn't those gut bursting runs from forwards to get into those goal scoring positions in the box. It was almost like you're time wasting from the opening minute. It was let's just hold on to the ball retention. The great thing is you go into this weekend's FA Cup semi-final fairly fresh. I know the players were sweating when they come off, but it was like a training ground workout. I didn't look at you again as a neutral and thought you were busting a gut tonight. You were playing at your nth degree, which is going to be important. I've got a super chat I've got to do here from Miguel that says, to not all you guys who's those slandering Chilwell, if he didn't score that second goal. Of course, but if he didn't score that second goal, you would have maybe been more attacking tonight. The landscape changes. He did. You go through it. Brilliant. The question I want to ask, I want to go to Prime first on this one because I do want to talk Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern a little bit later as well. Have you seen enough from Chelsea in the Champions League to be convinced you can win it?
Yes. Me personally, I don't fear anyone. There's a reason after the first leg with Atletico Madrid, I said I don't mind facing Bayern Munich or PSG. With the way we play, with how solid our defense is, and I know over the 2 legs with Bayern and PSG, it was high-scoring games. But with the way our defense is, it's going to take something special to score against us.
Mm.
And we can score again. I mean, Bayern are out. PSG's defense is not spectacular. We can score against them. Man City, they're possibly going to go through. If they get to a final, how is that going to affect their players? How is that going to affect their club? Because that's their first final. It's Guardiola's first final in how many years?
Okay, I talk about other clubs. Talk to me about Chelsea. You said about not
Chelsea. I think we have as equal of chance of winning as everyone else. Yes. Would I put us as favourites?
No, I didn't ask that. Like
but
winning it and being favourites is different. How about yourself, David? Have you seen enough to look at it and go, not we will, but we can win this? Do you feel confident in win this?
Attack wins games, but defense wins championships, and our defense right now is so good. Like we just aren't conceding chances. I said it. That's why he's gone with the 3 at the back and the 2 in front, because quite simply, you give players like Rudiger, you give players like Christensen, Aspi, Jorginho, you give them less things to do, they will make less mistakes. That's one thing we knew. With Lampard, the transition between attack and defense was so bad. With Tuchel, there's basically barely any transition for the other teams we even operate in, which is our weakest point. And if we can do that against all the teams that we play against so far. Why can't we do that in the Champions League? So yeah.
Thank you very much. So that's football. It's a lovely little super chat about me. I know. I actually did a little beard shape today. Got a very big meeting in London tomorrow, meeting some of the new teams. So thank you very much. I am sexy. I'm
Terry,
sexy.
that's your burner account. That's your burner.
Yeah, I'll take it. Listen, from my point of view, like you got to take compliments where you can get them from, even if they're from yourselves. I think Chelsea can win it. I'm not going to say my favourites. I'm going to wait and see what happens tomorrow night, and then I'm going to make my claim because I need to know whether Man City is still in this tournament or not. But you're not being broke down. You're keeping teams at bay. I think Chelsea are at the very least the dark horses of this tournament. There is no doubt about it. We are going to go to calls later, ladies and gentlemen. So stay with us. Let's get this past 1,000 likes while we're live on the air. Hit that like button now. Share this stream on your social media accounts. There was another game tonight. And I said at the top of the video, and I will say it again, big congratulations to Poch and Paris Saint-Germain, because we were asking the questions, and I think rightfully so. Will they hold their nerve? Will they crumble and fall out of it again? And there were some sticky moments tonight. They missed a plethora of gilt-edged chances. But in that last 25 minutes of the game, I think most football fans would agree with me. Bayern Munich didn't look at all like they were going to score. They ran out of ideas. They got nullified by PSG. And if PSG would have taken their chances, it would have been an absolute rout. They deserve it. Daniel, what did you make of the performance tonight from PSG?
It's a weird one. Because it's what I it's what I said. Yeah. When we were speaking about it in the preview, obviously it was always going to be about the attacks. I thought the defending today was horrendous. I mean, obviously closer to the end, PSG got better. There were last-ditch blocks and there were goal-saving challenges. Hernandez individually had a great performance, but I just thought from Bayern's end, I know everyone says it, but again, it was a bit naive, man. Again, to play that high line, it just didn't make sense. Like there were literally points here where it was literally so tight that Bayern would be standing on the halfway line, and whilst PSG were about to play a ball through. And just for me, that's just brainless. That doesn't make sense. And that's why, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know if PSG are my favourites, because other teams won't play like that against them. Do you know what I'm saying? But in terms of the game, it was a great spectacle, man. Like my eyes were literally, I said, I put it in the group chat. I thank God Chelsea gave me a bit of peace so I could concentrate on the Bayern game, because that game was a great spectacle, a great advertisement for like the Champions League to the neutral as well, because it was literally attack. Neymar, it's hard to say this, and I'm someone who hates saying things like this, but bar the chances, he was actually sensational. I thought entertainment-wise, the value, just what we don't see in football these days in terms of being able to express yourself. And Mbappe, they were just tremendous, man. I think Sane played well, Coman in parts played well. It was just a great spectacle all in all. But it goes back to the point that I made in the preview where I'm picking the team that has just more quality on their team. And that's what happened in the end.
I hear you on that. I hear you. Do you know what's interesting about what you say there, Dan? Is I saw people gushing over Neymar, and I'm sitting there and I'm enjoying it as well. But again,
I agree.
I'm an outputs person where I'm like, it's great, but if they do concede another goal and he's missed those chances, all the other stuff means nothing to me. And that's the way I am as a football fan. Now that the game's settled, that was a really good performance for him. They won the game, and for me, it's finishing your dinner is important. But when you've got those two players in your team, anything is possible. Jen, you're going to say something, bro?
They're not winning it. I'm sorry. The best team in my eyes has been knocked out, and now it's just wide open for any of us that's left in there. For me, I agree with what Daniel said. If you're naive and you play a high line against them, you're playing to their advantage. What I want to see is when you come up against someone maybe like us, someone that won't give them time on the ball, get in their faces, play a little bit deeper, won't play a high line. I think they will struggle. I think they would struggle if Mbappe didn't have the space behind to run. I think they would struggle to break teams down, and I don't think they're good enough to win the Champions League. And I think whoever they get next, whether it's Man City or even if it's Dortmund, I want to say it now. I think they're going out. I don't think they're good enough. I really don't.
You know what's interesting?
In my eyes, they played against a Bayern Munich team that had too many missing players and had no fire at the front. And that was it. Because if Lewandowski was playing, they were going through. And it was serious.
It was the way goals that went through. Do you know what's interesting as well? Like Man United have played Paris Saint-Germain twice this season. We beat them once; they beat us the other game. But they did not have that abundance of opportunities running in behind with their team because we sat 20 yards deeper. And I suppose that's my one issue I have with teams that have brilliant systems is when they fail to adapt when they've got an injury problem or they'll come up against a team that thrives. I mean, I was watching Paris Saint-Germain tonight, and it was like, it was almost Man United tactics, but with superior players. It was just this counter-attack over the top and running in, but it wasn't triangles and beautiful patterns. It was individuals having really good moments, 1-2 passes, and they were in the attack, and it was brilliant. And if teams play high lines against you, that's what you've got to do. When you've got speedy players, you can get it done. It was just, I don't know, David. What about yourself? Do you agree with Jem? Do you think that winning it is a step too far for PSG?
I mean, when you got Neymar and Mbappe, like, it's never out of the question. Literally, that chop when he done out Coman and curled it top bid, like nearly top bins, like again 1 inch lower, that's in the back of the net, and that's something I can see Neymar doing against anyone. Mbappe with his pace, even if again teams will sit back, but there will always be a time when they count and there'll be space in behind, and he only needs one chance to get in behind and score. Do I think they'll win it? No, but are they? For me, it obviously depends on City, but as of right now, I'd put them ahead of us.
What people need to keep in mind is they're still competing for their title. It's not usually it would have been wrapped up like a month or two ago. They're still trying to get that done. So how is that going to affect them in a semi-final or even in the final?
But how about Chelsea though? You're fighting for the top four. You can't put all your eggs in the basket of. I mean, but everybody is. All the teams left in this. If Dortmund stay in, the only team that have got an advantage, as far as I can see, is Man City because they've won the league already. And look, I wouldn't mind them taking that eye off the league and losing a couple of games because you never know. But everybody's, I think, in that same place as Paris Saint-Germain. What about yourself, Daniel? Do you agree with Jem? Do you feel that they're just not? If the team sits back against them, do you think they're good enough to break them down?
I think. I mean, if you remember the last year they played against Atalanta, who didn't really open up, and they broke them down and played quite well against them in the second leg. And obviously they scored that last minute goal. I think it was Choupo-Moting who scored. It's a tough one for me. Obviously, I do agree to an extent that obviously, look, if you don't give them space in behind, you obviously limit and you limit the amount of chances they can have in the game. But when you have, again, like I keep pointing out, two of the top 5 players in the world, they will somehow create chances, and it's just about whether or not they have a day like they did today. So I think Neymar, like you were saying, to your point, like I agree. As for all the entertainment value, he was poor in terms of his finishing, and it comes back to what Bale said in an interview. He was like, the way we watch football these days is so different. Like you could be having the worst of games, but as long as you provide a little bit of entertainment, or you score 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, then you're seen as man of the match. You're seen as the best player on the pitch. So yeah, but in terms of your question, I wouldn't go with PSG. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'd actually go with my team before I went with PSG, which says a lot, despite the fact that they have the 2 the best players in the competition. So yeah, man, I'm just not convinced fully, but I was convinced enough against a Bayern team that was just depleted.
I hear you on that one. Anita here says, "My guys, smile, man, semi-bound." Yeah, I said that when we came on. They all look a bit down in the dumps. I don't know.
Yeah, job's not done yet.
Job's not finished. Job's not
done.
Job's not done.
You're in the semis.
We lift that trophy.
Yeah. We're talking about bigger things.
We want that trophy.
Okay, you're saying you're going to be down in the dumps until you win it. I actually like that mentality. Smash that like and share button, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure you sign up to our Discord server. That is where we're going to go and share the link now to phone in and have your say one at a time. Come on and speak to the panel tonight. Also, get your super chats in as well. Hussein here says, in 8 of the last 9 seasons, the team that has won the Champions League is either Bayern Munich or eliminated Bayern Munich, and Chelsea can't even pass Real Madrid. Hassan doesn't think you'll even get past Real Madrid, is what he's saying there. That'll be an interesting one indeed. I'm going to share the link now. We're getting a bit of playback from someone. I'm not too sure who, but I am. I've shared that. It's definitely gone now because you've all muted yourself. No, it isn't. I'm still getting it. This is so weird. Everyone's on mute. Must be coming from me, which is weird because it's my system. So I'm just sharing the link now in the general chat page. So get yourselves across, get yourselves calling in. We're going to get you on the air. We had another super chat that came in here. This is from Lengan Sweet, which says the Champions League could finally be coming to the blue side of Manchester. It could. It really, really could. It really could.
Quickly talk about Christian Pulisic while we're waiting. Actually,
go on.
do you guys think he's starting to find his form again? And it seems like it's the same situations we had last season in terms of he picked up form at the latter end of the season and he pulled through. But do you think Christian Pulisic is becoming undroppable right now, which is what I'm trying to get at? And do you think he should start pretty much? Do you think he should start against Man City over the weekend as well?
The whole thing about Christian Pulisic should have to start the next game, but the whole thing about Pulisic has never been about his quality. It's been about when he got injured, or it's been about his injuries first of all, and then when he gets injured, it takes him a while to get back into full speed. You know what I'm saying? And that's been a lot of people's problems. Like I feel like when Anita talks about Pulisic a lot, people misunderstand what she's saying. She's more saying she doesn't like the fact that he's so injury prone, rather than he doesn't have quality. And he's always been quality, and I think personally, you stick with him because of how good he is. Like I think he's someone, maybe as he goes older, his muscles become a bit stronger, and you've seen that in players. And I think he's one of those players that you just stick with him. And I think, he's quality, man. Quality.
He's undroppable, isn't he? That's the thing for me. He brings us something completely different. The way he was driving with the ball up the pitch, and I mean, he's the most fouled player today on the pitch. You know what I mean? He was getting wiped out left, right, and centre. No wonder he gets blimming injured.
Yeah, I think with Pulisic again. I mean, I know Anita's had a lot of crap recently for talking about him. I'm still hearing an echo, and I don't actually understand how. What?
Just a mute.
Well, we muted before, and let me just do that side. Yeah, it's very strange that it's coming through. Sometimes I honestly hate StreamYard sometimes, but yeah, when Pulisic was talking about it, when Anita was talking about Pulisic, she never once said he hasn't got ability. He's not a very good player. He's not X, Y, and Z. It was just always the same thing. Can you rely on him with these injury concerns? But we're going to go to the phone lines now. The link is on the Discord page, on the general chat page. Make sure you're smashing that like and share button. First caller of the day, KJ is the first caller of the day. What are you saying, mate?
Yo, just want to say, fair play Chelsea, obviously, getting through. They didn't need to be in full gear. I know they lost at the end of the day, but hey, when you lose to that goal and still go through, you can't even be mad, really. Like, it's a good goal. It's gonna sound mad, but it's a good goal to concede while you still go through the next round of Champions League. So you're not too vexed. But I like the way the guys are being, like, in terms of there's still more to come. There's still more challenges to come. They're not getting too ahead of themselves. The only one is Prime, saying he's not afraid of nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how am I getting ahead of myself?
You still should. This is Champions League football, so like you still should have a little bit of concern. And yeah, there's right now, yeah. The amount of love that I'm seeing for Poch right now is a bit mad. Not because Poch is bad and he doesn't deserve praise. He deserves praise. But I'm seeing people that support other clubs and support other teams celebrate this harder than their team actually winning all season. And to me, it's just a bit like, guys, come on now. Like, yes, I know Poch is the chosen one, the loved one, and it's just all it is. We're waiting for that trophy to come so you can say you was right. But come on now, relax a bit. There's still a semi-final against Manchester City, and there's still a final to play against either Liverpool, Madrid, or Chelsea. So
it is true. I did see a few videos and I see a few tweets, and it was sort of like there was more joy in that than when their team, Man United, beat Spurs at the weekend. There was more joy, but listen, that's the way football's gone now. If people have got their opinions, I'll stick by it. They do what they've got to do. KJ, bro, thanks for coming on.
Sorry. Well, how am I gassed, KJ?
I didn't say you. Did I say you was gassed?
So how am I getting ahead of myself? Same thing. How?
You said I don't fear nobody because our defense is so solid and our attack is flowing. I'm like, no, you still should be worried because your attack is not as great as it could be, and your defense right now is going well. But how many teams have we really see on form when they play against you and they attack? I'm just saying they could. A team like Man City, a team like PSG, even a Real Madrid can give your defense a real shock and a real rocking that to say you fear no one, for me, is just a bit, okay. Really.
I've been saying this since the Atletico Madrid first leg. I know Man City can beat us and Real Madrid, whatever. My point is I don't fear playing them. I know it'll be an interesting game and we could beat them and we could get the best out of them, just like they could beat us. But there's nothing to fear. That's always been my point.
You should fear going out, bro, because you want to win the cup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. But again, if you're in it to win it, so you shouldn't be afraid.
Well, there we go. That's his fault. KJ, top man. Thanks for coming on, bro. Really appreciate that. We're going to jump in some more calls now. Viewers, smash that like button. Share this on your social media streams. We're going to have Ahmed on next. Ahmed's a Bayern Munich fan. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, that was quite disappointing today. I can't really blame our defense for once. Leroy Sané should have squared that ball to Muller at the end. It was an absolutely idiotic play by him. Kingsley Coman, god damn, that was a terrible performance.
Can I ask you a question as a Bayern Munich fan? In England, we speak about players like Coman's and Sané's as being absolutely top class. They're all better than Sterling. They're all better than Rashford. They're all better than all these guys. How do you perceive them as a Bayern Munich fan? Are they streets in front of those players, same level, just below? How do you rate them?
Well, I rate Rashford pretty highly, and I rate Sterling quite highly. With Coman, it just depends. Like, some games he is fantastic. In other games, he cannot cross the ball for his life. Sané, it's weird. Like, the last 3 months, he's been fantastic. Then the last 3 games, he was dreadful. He's missed multiple chances, forgets to lay the ball. Like, I'm missing Naby right now. Like, I'm missing Serge Gnabry a lot. And I rate him just slightly higher than Sané. I probably put Rashford and Sané in the same tier. Same thing with Sterling.
Okay, that's fair enough. In terms of Bayern Munich tonight, though, you know, I wouldn't say you were. it's hard to say comfortably beat, but you look like you ran out of ideas in the last 20, 25 minutes of the game. What was wrong with that? I mean, is it just the injuries that were the problem? Has the team gone a bit stale? What's your thoughts?
If you saw our bench, it was one of the worst benches this year. We played Javi Martinez as striker. 33-year-old Javi Martinez as striker.
Yeah.
We had our best player off the bench was an 18-year-old. We couldn't really do much when it came to the bench. Everyone's injured. Our 3 best finishers are all injured in Goretzka, Gnabry, and Lewa. And I'd say Kimmich was quite poor today. His worst game in the last 2 years. Thomas Muller couldn't really do much. I'd say we created 1 or 2 chances at the end, but we're clearly missing Robert Lewandowski. Choupo-Moting is absolutely dreadful. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if even the best systems of the best coaches in the world, when they don't have their best players, fall apart a little bit. It's as if by magic, as if all systems just get you through no matter what's going on. It's almost like having better players is an advantage. Bro, appreciate you coming on, having your say, mate. Thank you very, very much indeed. It's crazy when you think about it. A team that as good as them, I know they've got quite a few injuries. It's only 4 or 5 players. It isn't like it's 20. And suddenly the strength in depth just tested to like epic level.
Do you know what it is, Terry? Though you take out Bruno, Rashford, and Maguire, United would feel it. It's the fact that it's the spine, it's the core of that team. Like Lewan has gone, Goretzka, who's been big, basically replacing Thiago this season, and then you also have Gnabry, who's been the more informed winger than Sane and Coleman. It's a big loss, man. It's tough to deal with.
It's a very good point. Spine as well. We've got Brandon on the show next. Brandon, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I watched the PSG game. It was an entertaining game. But like I'm going to reiterate what the boys have just been saying. I don't think they're strong enough to win the competition. And I actually feel like, although the Chelsea boys, you know, you're right to be confident and that, I actually feel like you've got the harder side of the draw. Because PSG, Dortmund, and Man City have not won the competition. Real Madrid and Liverpool both have Champions League pedigree. Zidane especially, he knows how to win this competition. I wouldn't sleep on Real Madrid. I would not sleep on Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's nothing that can be argued. I mean, yeah, I mean, all 3 remaining on the other side. Dortmund have won the Champions League, haven't they? Years back.
They won it once, 1997, 98.
Paul Lambert got the winner. I was about to say, you're right. The lack of pedigree on one side, but argue the better teams. It's certainly an interesting one indeed. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Chelsea have got such a great chance.
What it is though is I don't think to the point though. I agree totally in terms of the experience aspect of things. I don't think that we were not rating Real Madrid. It's not even that, and we're not dismissing them and their quality. I think what it is that based off of the way we play and what we do, and based off of what Real Madrid do, there is a chance for us to win. It's not like we're playing the Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo in their team. Do you know what I'm saying? That Real Madrid is a totally different proposition.
You got Hazard, mate.
Yeah, I'll admit I do think you guys got a very good very good chance of winning the competition. I just think it's going to be harder for you in the semi-finals. But the final is a one-off game. You just never know what's going to happen. And I tell you what, if Chelsea do win the Champions League, then Tuchel, he's done really well since he came in, and you know,
really,
you can't argue it.
Brandon.
It'll be reminiscent of what Roberto Di Matteo done for Chelsea.
If Chelsea win 2 Champions Leagues, are they a bigger club than Arsenal?
Yes.
No, because Arsenal fans are like, no, we're still bigger than you because you've got more trophies. I'm saying now, if we have 2 of the big ears and you have not even a Europa League, surely there's got to be...
David, let me go a step further. Terry, forget £1,000. If Chelsea win the Champions League prime time, you got to let the Chelsea fans host the terrace, prime time TV, prime time. We got to host it all. Like, you got to let all the Chelsea fans on and just let us on it.
The only other thing I wanted to say as well, Terry, is the level of football that we've seen tonight. It makes me worried that if Arsenal did happen to go on and win the Europa League, mate, can you imagine? Can you imagine Arsenal
Oh,
playing in the Champions League?
Xhaka at
An
left
aggregate
back.
again. And score an aggregate again.
It's just the levels when you see it. Absolutely. Listen, top man, thank you very much for coming on, bro. Listen, I'll let you. Yeah, I'll let you guys host the show. That's not a problem. Do you know what I mean? We don't mind doing a bit of. I'll pick the damn host though, because the host has got to be able to control the rowdy mob. It's mad. Sometimes I sit like, right, I'm trying to move on. The man's still talking. It's hard. Yeah. Anita maybe. She's pretty. My dad rung me today randomly. He goes, I've been watching your channel, son. Yeah, goes, who's that Chelsea woman? I said, which one? She said, I think her name's Anita. Yeah. I go, what about her? I really like her. She's really good. Really, really good. He said he mentioned a few of the other, some of you others. He weren't too impressed. Get rid of him. Get rid of her. Do this. I'm like, Dad, you can't say that. He goes, I'm so I want, mate. But no, nothing horrible. But there we go. Next caller on the show, we're gonna have man like Abs. Abs is a Chelsea fan. What you saying, bro? You're muted if you're speaking. All right, he's not ready. Oh, here we go. Go on.
Hey, what you saying, Terry?
Oh, you're right. You fall down. You fall over. Hello?
No. I'm calm, man. Can you hear me?
Not really.
Oh shit! All right, let me come out.
Hey, come back again. We're gonna get Rack on the show. Rack's a Liverpool fan. What you saying, mate?
Hey guys. Yeah, all good. I watched the Bayern PSG game, and wow, that was a great game. That was a really good game. Even when it was 0-0, like it was. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the greatest 0-0 I've ever seen up to that point, but there were just so many chances. Beautiful football. You know, sure, there were some chances missed and stuff like that, but the quality of play from both teams, you know, Bayern trying to press the shit out of PSG playing through them, beautiful touches, beautiful movement. PSG, they were seriously impressive today. I mean, I don't know, anyone dismissing them, I think, is a little bit crazy because they had so many good performers today. Everyone from their right back, Paredes had a great game, Di Maria was great. Even though Neymar missed a few chances, you know, just to create those chances and some of the stuff he was doing was breathtaking. So I thought it was a great game. Really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't entertainment. The only thing I've disliked, and maybe they'll change it next year when the season is so concertinaed, is the fact that I wanted to be able to watch both games properly. And when you're jumping between the two, it really makes it hard to get solely invested in one of the games, as an example. And that was the only thing that was disappointing for me because they're both good in their own right, if that made sense. Do you know what I mean? It's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that, I mean, obviously at this stage of the competition, then good teams do go out, and you know, Bayern obviously if they had Lewandowski and they had Gnabry and some of those other players, and PSG were full strength as well, you know, because PSG were also missing players.
Yeah.
Then it would have been a real kind of you know,
it would have been close. Right.
Yeah.
Let's be serious. It
and the first game, Bayern had so many good chances, so they were unfortunate to go out. But you know, that's football, isn't it?
Don't you think it's interesting, yeah, how like everyone is loving off the Neymar performance, and rightly so, yeah. But like with the lack of output, yeah, Hazard used to have these kind of performances all the time, and everyone was so quick to say, yeah, he didn't score, he didn't assist. But he'd affect the game in terms of dribbling and everything.
You know, the thing with outputs is, like, I understand outputs are important if you are if it's your team, it's your game, you need to win. If you're there, I'm there as a neutral. I'm there to be entertained, and I saw some beautiful skills, beautiful touches.
It's the European effect. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
It's the European effect.
But I just watched the game and I didn't really have a dog in the fight. If you asked me to pick anybody, just because Bayern won it last season, I would have probably edged PSG a little bit in preference. You know, but I was entertained.
But you got it right. See, when I'm watching, I've said this. What I've love about the Champions League without Man United being in it, it's fun. I don't, to a degree, I don't care who wins what games. Like, I don't want Liverpool winning it and I don't want City winning it just for rivalry reasons, right? But I just enjoy it. So it is more about the entertainment. But when you're analyzing a game from an analytical point of view, that's where my winning mentality comes in. And for instance, for all the dribbles and all the skills, when it comes to squaring the balls at the right time, Neymar didn't do it often enough for me today, especially when it 1-on-1 near the end. And when he had gilt-edged chances, he missed them, which is fine when you go on to win. When you lose, it's wasteful. And I think that's where you're right to criticize, because you can't miss those chances at the end of the day. Look at right at the end, Sane. I mean, he had all three options in the box and he chose the wrong one. Sane doesn't make a mistake and he picks the right option there. Bayern Munich made 4, and this is a different conversation. And that's why. But the skill to get there was brilliant. But in the end, it was shit because he didn't do the right thing. I don't care. I was fucking Bayern Munich fans are not sitting there going, I was so entertained by that skill, though. It doesn't matter that we went out. It's about
we also understand, right? We've watched enough games. We've been football fans for long enough to know that even the greatest players, they miss sitters. They make mistakes, and you can criticize a player for making a mistake, but it's also understandable because sometimes shit just happens.
I know I'm not saying it isn't, but what I wouldn't do is say, let's say the dribbling's on point, the approach play is very, very good. You do some mad skills, everyone claps, but you miss 3 sitters and then your team loses 1-0 in a final. I wouldn't say you've had a great game. I would say you played well, like, because you've done some good things and missed some sitters. Equally, if you played average, but you scored the two chances and you win 2-0, you're a match winner. That's a better performance than doing all the tricks and skills and then missing the bits and pieces. And the perfect performance is amalgamating them all together.
And that's the beauty of sport, though. That's also the beauty of sport, right? Because you can play brilliantly, but yet still lose. And different people will feel differently about those things. So I guess when you dig a little deeper aside from looking at results and stuff, you can appreciate these little nuances of the game.
My view is this: 12 and a half rounds, 11 and a half rounds, AJ gets his head boxed off by Tyson, and then AJ lands a Hail Mary on his jaw and knocks him out. Who wins the fight?
Yeah, it was AJ, isn't it?
It's about end product at the end of the day. When you get down to granular detail, because I can imagine all you Chelsea fans, you get to that final and you ball out and lose. I want to see you all come on and say, I was entertained. I want to see how many of you say that.
Not me.
Do you know what I mean? It's not about the trophies. It's about
I'm one of these people.
That's because you're proper football people.
You know, I'm one of these people. Like, you know, when people say, "Oh, I watch your team." Oh. Well, so you know when people say, "Oh, I watched your team today and I wasn't entertained." Oh wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. You can hear me. Okay, I was wondering. Like, I thought I was.
You're messed up, bro. Go out, come back.
Care about being entertained. I kind of just want to win.
No, I always want to win over being entertained every day of the week. Go out.
I'll come back.
Go out and come back in, bro. And we'll get you on. Yeah, Rack. We've got a super chat here actually first that we'll go to that says, Terry, you're happy with Ollie and don't think Poch will not win any trophies with the Man United if he was your manager, whilst your manager bottled the Champions League and looks like Poch. Look at what Poch is doing. I mean, bro, you've got to not take what I say out of context in relation to Poch. I wanted Poch. I was happy for Poch to come into Manchester United. The only thing I disagree with is that I don't think Poch would have come into Man United squad this season and won us the league. Because right now it's looking like he might not even win the league with Paris Saint-Germain in a one-horse race. So it's not having a pop at Poch. It's just saying it's a stupid notion to say if he came in December, he's guaranteed to have won the league for us. That's all that's been said.
Just about that. I mean, I've defended Ollie a few times, and I'm going to do it again now because look, it's all about your starting point, right? If at the start of the season you said Man United finished second in the league, most people think you're a bit nuts, and most people would also think you'd be crazy to say they're going to win a trophy. And obviously, Poch could win the Champions League this season, which would also be probably above expectations, but. It's not just one or the other. Football isn't black and white like that all the time.
No, I hear you completely. Rack, bro, appreciate you coming on and having your say, mate. Top man, thank you very much. Viewers, keep hitting that like and share button. Indiana's with us now. What you saying, bro?
Firstly, congratulations, Chelsea. I think now that Bayern are out, you really do stand a chance of winning it. I think Chelsea could actually be back. I don't know whether PSG have the best side in my opinion. But I'm not convinced they've got what it takes to win in the final. But I do think Chelsea could do it. I really do.
Indiana, how would you feel if Tiny Werner gets a Champions League medal at the end of the season?
He'd still be a fraud, but
wait,
good for you, wouldn't it?
Indiana,
He'd still be a fraud.
And he scores the winning goal.
And he scores the winning goal.
Wait, is it against Poch's PSG?
Yeah, that's against.
Yeah,
PSG.
yeah.
I'm good with it. I'm all right with it.
You know, it'd be funny after all these Man United fans knocking one out over Poch tonight. Is if he loses the semi-final. The irony.
Terry, do you know how I thought I was following like around about 1,000 Manchester United fans? It turns out they're all Bayern Munich fans, just with Man United in their name.
No,
But my manager.
What it means is you follow a lot of Ollie Outers. Is what it means. That shows.
That's what it is it?
It's like what I try to do. Sometimes political stuff comes up on my timeline, and I look for who shared it, and then I just mute or block them because my timeline is for football only. So all I want to talk about is football. So like I wait to see who shares certain things onto my timeline. I'm like, you're done, you're muted, you're out. I don't want it. Like I watch the news for that. I read papers for that. When I go on my timeline, I want it to be football only. I hear you on that.
Weird.
In terms of winning it with Chelsea, do you think Chelsea can win it, Indiana?
I think I think everyone's got a chance now. I think they've got good a chance as anyone else. I really do. I think. Listen, if Louis fit, Bayern win that game tonight, right? That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And then it's different. It's very different. I'd have Bayern as the favourites. Now I don't think anyone is really a favourite. I think Chelsea and PSG because of who their players are. But Chelsea for me, they just feel like it just feels like they're gonna win it. It just feels like they got enough, especially when it comes to impact players. I think like Pulisic, if you can get him fit for a final, there's Kovacic, Kante. You've got so much depth there. I really think Chelsea could win the cup.
There we go. Indiana, top man. Thanks very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Next up, Abs is back with us now. What you saying, Abs?
All right, so sorry, there was some technical difficulties there. But yeah,
Right,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, brother. What do you want to say?
All right, so first and foremost, we have to give credit to the goal because that was a banger, to say the least. Mendy had no chance, and to be honest, we could defend it a bit better, but it's what it is. But yeah, we're in the semi-finals of the Champions League, first time since Mourinho. And how ironic is it that we may get the chance to either play a Spanish team or Liverpool, who we last knocked out in 2009, which would be nice to see. So,
who would you prefer, Abs? Would you prefer Real Madrid or Liverpool?
Either or, to be honest, I don't mind because the way I look at it is that both teams have a history of winning the Champions League. Both teams in the Champions League turn into, they could be having a shocker in the league and they'd still come out and pull some mad performance. So for me, either match is going to be hard for the history and just for the fun of it. And because I've got a lot of scouts in my family, I want Liverpool so we can knock them out and end their season. That'll be calm. But yeah, we're just going along, man. Let's see if we can win the FA Cup and try and go as far as we can now.
There we go. Abs, great call, mate. Thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate that, bro. Top man. Super chat here again says, Chelsea are running football with oil.
Hey, that's an Arsenal fan.
I mean, listen.
Excuse me. Do Man City and PSG not exist? They're richer than us, okay? So let us be with our oil money. And
it's just jealousy, mate.
They do worse than we do.
They
do worse than we do.
Terry, if Chelsea get to the final, can we do a proper watch along in a venue?
Yes.
I'm at a meeting tomorrow actually discussing something fairly similar to that. So watch this space. All the new plans are coming. Press release coming also very soon as well, by the way, people. So a few people said, nothing's changed since you did your announcement. I'm like, yeah, nothing's changing overnight. It's going to take time to get new shows. I'm actually pitching a brand new show tomorrow, which Danny and a few of the guys film for us. I'm sort of putting that in tomorrow, which is going to be fun.
Trust the process.
I was chatting to 3 or 4 of the journalists today that are getting involved. I'm not saying trust the process because it'll all foul, mate.
Trust the process.
That's the same as it's the same as me standing next to Drake and having a photo. Do you know what I mean? Drake, come along to my announcement. You know it means I'm done and finished. Like it's even worse. If Aaron Ramsey scored the day that the announcement comes out, like there'd be trouble going on. You don't want any of these weird things happening. But watch this.
If Chelsea make a Champions League final. If Chelsea make a Champions League final and people are seeing me on camera, people are going to see me cry. Like, regardless of the result, I'll probably cry because that Champions League.
Can I ask you boys a question? Have any of you ever What would
I
it
cried
take you
the
to
first
cry?
time. I'm not gonna cap. I
I've
cried the first
never
time.
cried in my life.
I've only cried once for Chelsea game, and that was Chelsea Bayern where we got robbed. As in, I cried like I
didn't
was
cry at
bawling
that.
my eyes out
You know what
because
I
I
done?
was angry. It was angry crying. And my dad's
Hey.
he's an Arsenal fan. He actually felt so bad for me because he said like you actually because we deserve to go through. We should have gone through. Like, and I honestly believe we would have beaten Man United in the final as well. Like we played so well that game. We played excellently. You don't think we would have won? I think we would have won.
I got karma for that though. So the karma was because that was a weird day for me. So the day before that game, everyone remembers what day it was, right? Man United beat Arsenal. It was the famous free kick and counter-attack goal by Ronaldo. My boy Phil that's been on the show, we all lived together in the same house, and we all stayed up that night. We got messed up, and I went to work first. The last one to leave the house was Phil. He was so hungover, still drunk, he forgot to lock the doors. I got home from work, and the door had been like smashed open because there was no chub lock on, and we got robbed. The house got robbed. The only thing they didn't rob was the TV because we still had one of them old TVs. It was so heavy, no one's nicking it, right? How bad our house got robbed though, right? They had like a van, they were loading it up, and our next door neighbor come over and said like, what you doing, taking all the stuff out of the house? And the guy said, oh, because they obviously found the letters and their names. And, oh, yeah, Terry and Phil are moving out. We're removal men. My next door neighbor, bless her, was making them tea, bro. Right? They cleared the house, everything. They locked my 2 cats in a cupboard. It was a madness. So that night when you guys got knocked out, Chelsea Man United rivalry was peak back then. I celebrated like mad when you got robbed. I was in a bad mood. My house had been robbed. I celebrated. But you know where I got egg on my face? Bastard destroyed us in that final. And then when it beat, I was like, oh, why? Oh, I wish we had Chelsea. I think you could have beaten us, but it would have been an easier game, man. Yeah, that was a madness. I'll remember that day for the rest of my life as well. It was crazy. I cried when I've cried I think 3 or 4 times at football. The most I cried was when we beat you in the Champions League final in 2008. I didn't even mean to. I just was so happy. I celebrate. I just felt my eyes start to go, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm letting it out."
I've done the opposite, mate.
Yeah, that means you don't. If you haven't cried at football, it means you don't love your club.
But it takes a lot for me to cry.
Listen, when we lost to Man United, right? I must have blacked out, right? I walked out my blooming door, yeah. I was walking down my town, Epping town, right? I walked into Tesco's. I picked up a bottle of something strong. Yeah, opened it. Thought, do you know what? I ain't gonna go home yet. Walked up to the kebab shop, bought the biggest, fattest pizza ever, right? Walked out with a fucking big, large bottle of like alcohol. A pizza. Instead of just going in my house, I sat on a bench.
Sporting depression is a real thing. But have you ever done this before? Like I used to, me and my boys, we used to like Phil and the guys, everyone would come around, we'd have like a real drink up for big games. And I maybe done this 3 or 4 times. It would be like a big game on a Sunday or like a Champions League semi or final. And I did it in a Champions League final where sat there drinking from about 6 o'clock. Like me and Phil, you don't know, I'm about to say the names. Techley was there, Tony was there. Not that you guys know who they are, but my boys are there. Right? All there drinking. But I'm so nervous the whole time I'm drinking that I'm not really noticing how much. Got to the end of the game, kind of relaxed. And then the alcohol's hit me because like I think the nerves have stopped me from getting drunk. And then I've blanked out because it's like I don't remember anything. And do you know what? I miss being that young. I miss those days. If I did that now, I wouldn't be out of bed for 4 days. Can't do it.
I hate drinking before games because I just need to. I'm zoned in. Like the nerves are too much for me to be doing anything besides focusing on the game. Like I do everything after. Yeah,
I hear you. Do you know what? Drinking it like now because I do this. I've done it a few times. I've been drinking during games, and I've got to about half hour before like the show, and I'm like, I better stop because I'm going to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do because I just get a bit too wavy there. Every Spurs fan cried Ajax versus Spurs. Listen, that game, I was emotional for my dad because my dad's a Spurs fan, and I felt so happy that he was happy, and it was it's the way it's done.
Yeah.
That game it was the last kick. It's like when we won it in '99, the final. It's even your Champions League win. It was penalties, but you came from behind. Like
that was a roller coaster, man.
I think.
Oh, that was mad.
I don't think there's anything more satisfying than a comeback or kind of winning a game that you may not necessarily deserve to win.
Yeah,
Even
penalty shootouts as well.
In that,
They're scary, man.
in that game, we had 19% possession.
As in
19, and we
it's
won. That is a
disgusting.
scam. We scammed those.
David, I mean, Ryan Bertrand from out of nowhere started left wing. You already knew what kind of game. Basingwa.
Yeah, don't diss Boswinger, mate. He was sick.
comment here. I like you're a professional footballer. You're a millionaire. Salt that. It's like when I see a pro footballer at that level with bad teeth, I'm like, just get it done, bro. Like you got the money. We're all sitting there wishing we had that. Micah here says, Daniel, UEFA didn't want a Chelsea United final.
I don't even believe that. I don't even believe that.
Cheated.
Nah.
It was just.
You know what fucked us up that game? Didier Drogba slapping Vidic in the face, which made Terry.
No, he's not talking about that. He's talking about
because. Oh, you're talking about
Barcelona. He's talking about Barcelona. Yeah. But that Barcelona game, it's the ref and the. You know, the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys do this. I'm a bit sad, but like those kind of games where I just think I get angry about. As I'm old now, I go back and watch the highlights, the extended highlights of those games, and just think, how on earth can you see that foul and not give it? Like it's so crazy.
Oh, mate, it was tons in that game.
It's why though, I'm generally speaking, I think they've messed the protocol up in the last 3 or 4 months. They're almost protecting referees' original decisions. But that's what I loved about VAR when it came in, because my team's benefited from bad decisions in the past, but we've also been, like, people forget we've been screwed over with them. Nani being sent off against Real Madrid when we were winning, as an example. We should have we scored another goal against Porto that would have knocked out Jose's Porto that year. Yeah. But it wasn't, I think it was disallowed for offside. And it's all these little decisions where, for me, I look at it, I think about England against Germany. Now, we went on to lose 4-2, we went on to lose 4-1, but we equalized. We all know football well enough that the game could have gone in any direction after that second goal. Goal went in and we didn't get it. That's why I was such a big fan of technology coming in. If VAR existed, there's no way Chelsea, in my opinion, go out in that round. It's why I was an advocate for it when it first came in. They've kind of messed it up a little bit now. But the conspiracy thing, I don't agree with. I don't necessarily think there's sort of referees go out their way to make bad decisions on purpose or anything like that. Football 97 says, Terry, Chelsea is bullying with oil. New one. Bullying clubs with oil. That's a new one. Bullying them clubs. Do you know what I mean? Threatening to make you drink oil if you don't win, or whatever they do. But there we go. But listen, I know there's a few more people waiting backstage. Do some quick fire calls. First up, TJ. What are you saying, TJ?
Hello, guys. I just came on to basically to do something I don't really do often, and that's actually give praise to Chelsea. So well done, Chelsea. Good job getting to the semi-final. I don't think you'll win it. I think you will get to the final, but I can't see you winning it. But that's not out of salt. That's just, I think this Chelsea team is still maybe a year or two away from the Champions League. Anyway, but mostly I watched the Bayern versus PSG game. I thought Hernandez had a really good game. What was just a shock though was Bayern's bench. Bayern were definitely not on top of PSG, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, who are Bayern going to bring on?" And fair enough, they had the talented striker. I can't remember his name, but he's the young striker they bring off the bench. But apart from that, the bench was a bit dead.
Well, do you know what I did think about? It's a great point you make. I was a little disappointed in Flick because when Man United beat Paris Saint-Germain, we threw loads of kids on. That's all we had. Remember, we had those injuries. Like, we beat Paris Saint-Germain with pure injuries, suspensions, and everything else. We were able to do it. I felt like they should have, that youthful exuberance. There are players out there not delivering, players out there looking tired and slow. Throw a few kids on and just, throw caution to the wind and say, go for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, what would the worst outcome have been? You go out. Hello. You got out anyway. Like, you could have given them a go. Everyone who's tuned in tonight, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. We're back tomorrow with more content in the morning. I should be doing a live stream from London at some point tomorrow because I'm going to be in London for a meeting. I'm looking forward to it. First day back in London it's the longest I've ever been away from my city. So I'm so looking forward to going back tomorrow. I'm definitely going to find a FC somewhere and get some dirty fried chicken. Do you know what I mean? I might even get pie and mash while I'm there as well if it's open. It's a madness. Hit that like and share button, people. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Little shout out as well. We are 4 subscribers away from hitting 187,000 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, get that done right now. Big things in the offing here for the Terrace. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.